matter what they say. Cause we're fast, clean, on our feet, you can't compete. So take a seat and get out of our way. We're gonna deny you in our insane asylum. Cause we're big, bad, and blue. We're gonna score and there's nothing you can do. Cause we're big, bad, and blue. We're gonna run all over you. Cause we're big, bad, and blue. We're gonna score and there's nothing you can do. Cause we're big, bad, and blue. Big, bad, and blue. Big, bad, and blue.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Garceau. Welcome to Big, Bad, and Blue, the story of the inaugural season of our Canadian Football League team. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look back at the remarkable '94 season as the team with no name nearly won the Grey Cup championship. We'll look back at the battle with the NFL for the Colts name, meet the players, and spend some time with CFL Coach of the Year Don Matthews. But first, let's go back to February of last year, the birth of the Baltimore Football Club and the start of a storybook season.
There you go. And here's Memorial Stadium.
In a whirlwind span of 5 days, Jim Spiro signed a 5-year Memorial Stadium lease with Mayor Kurt Schmoke, was officially awarded a franchise by the Canadian Football League, and signed the club's marquee player, quarterback Tracy Ham.
When I first got the franchise here on February 17th, 1994, every day was a monumental day. We had to go right to work because of the time factor of getting ready. From there, we had to renovate a stadium. We also had to sign another 100 players to bring to training camp that Jim Pop just worked his tail end off on doing. And so that every day was just a monumental day. And with each date, from announcing the name on March 1st, to press conferences, to adding corporate sponsors and people getting involved with the team, we had a lot to do in a short period of time. I remember the first luncheon we had, which was in mid-April, that we had over 500 people attend. And again, people, the fans, were very happy to have football back in Baltimore.
In late May, John Unitas helped kick off training camp at Towson State. Spiros also brought back Baltimore icons like the Colts band, the Big Wheel, and had a Colts alumni bash when 62 former players came back to the stadium. During the season, the club honored Baltimore sports legends like Lenny Moore, Jim Parker, and Earl Weaver in the Ring of Honor.
I thought it was important to honor these guys who made this town what it is today. Memorial Stadium, there's a lot of ghosts here in this stadium, and after a 40-year history, I feel that these people who played here in this building deserve to be honored. So that's why I started the Ring of Honor, and something that's going to be an ongoing tradition here with our organization.
In August, the CFL awarded the 1997 Grey Cup game to Baltimore, the first time the Canadian Football League title will be decided below the 49th parallel, a fact not lost on Spiros or Commissioner Larry Smith.
We thought it was important to go after the Grey Cup and have it here in 1997. So it's another feather in our cap, and I'm looking forward to having that event here in 1997.
Baltimore has exceeded our expectations. Clearly, we thought that Jim would have not only a successful on-field team performance, but we felt he would do well at the gate. We did not expect, however, that he would do as well as he did financially, which is very positive for Baltimore and the CFL.
Today will be the Baltimore Colts.
Saying there was no other choice, Spiros named his team the Baltimore CFL Colts on March 1st.
I took the lead of the fans. I believe that the only name for this football team should have been the Colts, because I think the name was established here in Maryland. It's something that there's a long history and tradition. So that's why I fought so hard for the name. And it's what the fans wanted, so it was a very easy decision.
On April 29th, the Indianapolis Colts, the National Football League, and NFL properties sued Spiros, and by June, a court order forced Baltimore to call itself the CFLs for the '94 season. After 3 court dates, legal fees in excess of $500,000, and a ton of national coverage, Spiros renamed his team.
You know, we gave it our best shot. We took it all the way through December. And I think that I let the fans, again, vote on what the name of this football team should be. And it's the Baltimore Football Club, because no matter where we go or when we line up here and play at Memorial Stadium, I believe they're still going to chant COLTS, and there's nothing anybody can do about that.
Welcome back to Big, Bad, and Blue. I'm Scott Garceau. You know, 9 months after Jim Spiros brought pro football back to Baltimore, that expansion team was playing for the league championship Grey Cup. The team won 16 of 23 games and became only the 7th true expansion team to qualify for the playoffs in its first year. This truly was a season to remember.
The football team accepted the challenge, and they went out and did exactly what we thought we did. It made me very proud.
After a preseason win in Shreveport, 29,000 fans welcomed pro football back to Baltimore and watched a thriller as Baltimore beat the defending Eastern Division champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers 45-43 on a 47-yard field goal by Donald Igwebuike with no time remaining in overtime.
That was one of the dream games that you hope that your fans will be able to see if you're trying to sell a new franchise. And I think the end of the game with kicking a field goal with no time on the clock for the home team to win, that was just a little icing on the cake.
In the season opener, Tracy Ham hooked up with Chris Armstrong for 2 touchdowns and a 28-20 win in Toronto to win the first game in club history.
Without Jim Spiros, we don't have a football team here. He's the guy that went out on the limb. He brought you all in here, and he is the one that deserves the first game ball, the first of many, I hope. Congratulations. Yes,
he was the one that made it all happen for us, and he had 100% support for all of us. He's been an ideal owner for a coach. He just gave us the ball and let us run with it, and so we gave him the ball and let him spike it.
In the home opener, nearly 40,000 enthusiastic fans packed Memorial Stadium. But Doug Flutie and the Calgary Stampeders broke open a close game in the fourth quarter to win 42-16. Following a win over Shreveport and a loss in Winnipeg, Baltimore won a wild one against the Las Vegas Posse as cornerback Irvin Smith tackled Curtis Mayfield at the 2-yard line to seal a 38-33 victory. 4 days later, Baltimore rolled up almost 600 yards in total offense to beat Hamilton 30-15. Ham passed for 442 yards, 224 to Chris Armstrong. After Toronto upset Baltimore on August 20th, Baltimore went on the road and beat up on Hamilton 28-17 and Shreveport 28-16. Mike Pringle ran for a season-high 232 yards at Shreveport. Into Shreveport territory. He's going to go all the way. Pringle breaks out of the pack. 10-5. Touchdown, Mike Pringle. A disappointing 30-29 loss to Sacramento dropped the team to 6-4. Baltimore bounced back with 4 straight wins, 35-18 in Saskatchewan, 42-27 in Ottawa, a playoff-clinching 40-13 win over the Eastern Riders a week later, and a 22-16 win over Vegas. After a loss in Edmonton, Baltimore flexed its muscle by dominating the BC Lions 48-31 as Pringle bulldozed his way to 216 yards and Ham threw for 4 scores, setting up a showdown with Winnipeg to decide who is the beast of the East. Baltimore bombed the Blue Bombers 57-10 to take control of the Eastern Division. Pringle powered for 209 yards to break the CFL record for yards in a season and yards from scrimmage. But a soggy 18-0 loss in Sacramento cost Baltimore the Eastern title. Still, Don Matthews' squad finished 12-6 in their rookie campaign, the best ever by a pro football expansion team.
I knew that we had the personnel to get the job done. I knew we had the coaching staff to get the job done. But whether or not we would gel and blend into a championship caliber team, I wasn't sure. But as time progressed and as the year went along, I think we got better and better. And near the end of the season, I think that we were the best team in the CFL.
On November 12th, the first playoff game at Memorial Stadium in 17 years had the natives restless. Robert Drummond, filling in for an injured Mike Pringle, rushed for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns as Baltimore beat Toronto 34-15 to earn a trip to friendly Manitoba for the Eastern Final. But Winnipeg was anything but friendly that windy November weekend.
Fans and the media got very hostile when we entered Manitoba for that playoffs, and I'd never experienced anything like it. It was probably a little bit overboard from their point of view, but that also made it even more special to go to Winnipeg and beat them for the berth in the Grey Cup.
Matthews' team advanced to the Grey Cup behind a defense that allowed only 171 yards and produced the game's only touchdown. And the foot of Iggy, who booted a 54-yard field goal with 3:20 to play to win the Eastern Division title 14-12.
We didn't have many friends there in Winnipeg, and it feels like it was David and Goliath. And for us to get out of there with a win in Winnipeg on the road, 14-12, to take us to the Grey Cup, that had to be our greatest thrill of the season.
A week later at the BC Place in Vancouver, the hometown Lions in Baltimore hooked up in one of the best Grey Cups ever played. Baltimore built a 20-10 lead early in the third quarter as linebacker Elvin Walton and Grey Cup MVP Carl Anthony turned in the play of the day for a score. Late in the fourth quarter, with the game tied at 23, a controversial 43-yard reception by Ray Alexander gave BC great field position. And with no time remaining, Louis Passaglia booted a 38-yard field goal for a 26-23 win and a dramatic Grey Cup championship.
I think that we have some bitter feelings that the game was stolen away from us a little bit, but regardless of that, we had our chances. We weren't able to do it, but it makes us all the more determined to do it this year.
It was a great game, and I thought it was a fantastic opportunity for the league, which I think helped the league a lot. I think we had the right 2 teams in it, and our goal now is next year to be in Saskatchewan, and this year bring the Grey Cup home, be the first U.S. team ever to win a Grey Cup.
When Jim Spiros brought pro football back to Baltimore, no one expected his team to do so much so soon. No one except head coach Don Matthews, who predicted from day one his team would make a run at the championship. Let's meet the 1994 CFL Coach of the Year and the players who helped him get to the Grey Cup.
Well, I'm proud of the fact that everybody in the organization accepted that premise, picked up that challenge, and did exactly as we said we could.
A winner of 6 Grey Cup titles, Matthews rebuilt winning teams in BC, Toronto, and Saskatchewan before coming to Baltimore. On August 10th, he became the 6th coach in CFL history to win 100 games and the 2nd fastest to reach that plateau. Only NFL and CFL Hall of Famer Bud Grant did it quicker.
To build the Baltimore team and to win it here with the team that we were able to build from scratch made it very, very special. And to be able to do it the 2nd fastest in the history of the league, I think that's probably another special thing that I'll always remember.
Matthews was honored for building that team from scratch with his 2nd Coach of the Year award. He built this team by surrounding defensive veterans with skilled rookies and watched them gel by crunch time.
At the end of the year, I felt that we were the best team in the Canadian Football League, and that was the bitter disappointment of not bringing home the cup.
Even though his team didn't bring home the cup, They earned respect throughout the Canadian Football League as the team to beat in 1995.
We talked to our football team at the end of the year and told them that it's not just good enough to be better than these other teams. We've got to get way better. Everyone's out going to be gunning for the Baltimore CFL football team this year, and that's exactly how we want it. Mike Pringle's running of the ball, I don't think we need to say a lot about that because, you know, everyone that watched our football team watched the toughness and the quickness and the determination that he put forth every time he carried the ball or caught the ball out of the backfield or returned a kickoff. I mean, Mike Pringle is a super running back.
The most remarkable story in the remarkable year was running back Mike Pringle, a throw-in and a trade with Sacramento before training camp. He set league records for rushing with 1,972 yards and yards from scrimmage, totaling 2,414. Mike also led the league with 3,228 all-purpose yards, scored 16 touchdowns, and was third in kickoff return yards. The team went 8-0 when he rushed for over 100 yards. For all that, he was named the most outstanding player in the East.
He became an inspiration to me. The drive that he has, the intensity that he has, is something that you want every football player to have. And I think that he's just an incredible athlete. I've definitely got a lot more respect for him now and realize what a great back that he really is.
Quarterback Tracy Ham finished second in the CFL, throwing for 4,348 yards with 30 touchdowns and a league-low 13 interceptions. His favorite target was slot back Chris Armstrong, who caught 72 passes for 1,586 yards and 18 touchdowns.
Chris Armstrong and Tracy Ham should be joined at the hip because they each make each other a better football player.
Other offensive weapons included fullback Peter Tuipulotu, who had 53 receptions, and wide receiver Walter Wilson, who had 50 catches for 900 yards. Offensive tackle Shar Pordanish led a massive offensive line that was the CFL's finest in '94, as Baltimore led the league in rushing and gave up just 27 sacks. Shar was voted most outstanding offensive lineman in the league as a rookie. Fellow rookie Matt Goodwin won Rookie of the Year honors in '94, leading the league with 4 block kicks, returning 3 for touchdowns, and led the club with 72 combined tackles.
He was one of those guys that just kept making plays, and we kept trying to find things for him to do to make more plays. His special teams work, because of his size and speed, were just phenomenal. All of the block punts and the returns for touchdowns. We just have to continue to find things for Matt Goodwin to do, because every time we give him a challenge, he comes up and is just spectacular.
On defense, veterans Gerald Bayless and O.J. Brigance provided stability up front. Linebacker Tracy Gravely led the club in defensive tackles, while Elvin Walton became a special teams terror. The secondary of Urban Smith, Charles Anthony, Michael Brooks, Ken Watson, and Carl Anthony started as a unit in all 23 games. But it was the addition of Elfrid Payton at midseason that proved to be the missing link, as the defense chopped off 100 yards per game after Payton's arrival.
In midseason, when Elfrid came in, he certainly put it all together, and everybody else also on defense in the middle of the season decided to bring their level of play up another notch. And I feel that at the end of the year, when everybody was focusing on all cylinders or functioning on all cylinders, we were the best defense in the league, and that certainly was evident through the playoffs.
On special teams, Lester Smith led the CFL in punt returns with an 11.4 average. Punter Josh Miller led the league in both average and net average, and kicker Donald Igwe became a cult hero in Baltimore. Iggy finished 4th in the CFL with 184 points. He had 16 of his final 17 field goals, and his 54-yarder in Winnipeg sent Baltimore to the Grey Cup.
Donald's kicking went a little bit downhill in the middle of the season. It was unfortunate we had to replace him, but when we brought him back, he was better than ever. And absolutely, that 54-yarder in Winnipeg was a clutch, high-pressure kick that won the game for us and put us in the Grey Cup. So Donald, as long as he works on his skill, he can be as fine a kicker as there is in the league.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. You know, this place has been called the world's largest outdoor insane asylum, and for good reason. Jim Spiros reached out to you fans, and you responded, leading the Canadian Football League in attendance and providing 7 of the top 10 crowds in the league. Baltimore's rich football tradition helped build the NFL. Now you fans have helped put the CFL on the map in the States.
And without our fans, this whole story would have been, I think, a big blank, because it was the fans that really made our season what it was.
Over 400,000 fans flocked to Memorial Stadium as Baltimore easily led the CFL in attendance. Some of the same fanatics who cheered United's Matty Moore and Burt Jones are now going CFL crazy for Baltimore's new team.
One of the things that the players talk about on the way in after the first game and after every game was, did you hear the fans? You could hear them supporting you. They're very rowdy in the stands, they're very knowledgeable, and they're very demanding. They expect us to win, and so that really is a great feeling.
When we came back from the Grey Cup in the wee hours of the morning, all the fans are out there, you know, to support us, and that was just a great encouragement for us to know that regardless of whether we won or lost, that we were going to have the fans in our corner.
I don't even know if they realized what they did for this league. The fans, because of the support this past year, we were able to attract 2 other expansion teams, Memphis and Birmingham, with 2 first-class owners, Fred Smith, who owns Federal Express, with over 100,000 employees, Art Williams, who in 1991 owned the largest insurance company in the United States, bought the Birmingham team. Now Art has hired Jack Pardee, Fred has hired Pepper Rogers. So we have 2 class organizations coming into our league.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed taking a look back with us at the Baltimore Football Club's exciting inaugural season. New friends and memories were made here at Memorial Stadium, and 1995 promises to feature a lot more. Before we leave, the man who gave Baltimore the CFL ball, team owner and president Jim Spiros.
Well, it was certainly a special season for our football organization, and you know, I'd first like to thank the fans, because without the support they had this year, this success story would have never been written. And I just thank the fans and the support, our corporate sponsors, our band members, our cheerleaders, especially our players and coaches, because they're the people who line up every day at practice and you know, put the whole puzzle together to make it work for our organization. And then our tireless workers in the front office, the guys who selling the tickets and putting the banners up and working behind the scenes. We got a great football organization, and we're in a great football town. So I'm just tickled to death to be here, and I look for 95 to be just a great year for our football organization. And we're building a great foundation, not only for Baltimore, but for this league in the United States. So again, special thanks to the fans, because you're the people who brought football back to Baltimore.
A brand new day. Now the town is rocking at the CFL games. Catch all the action on News Channel 2. Good gosh almighty, it's so exciting. Catch the CFL games. Yeah, Baltimore CFL games. It's got more power than a lightning bolt. Come on, everybody, feel it in your soul. Football is back. Can you feel the heat? The tradition lives on. You got a front row seat. You're all invited. It's so exciting. Catch the CFL game. Hey, on News Channel 2.
Moody, you gotta hate him.
We had Calgary beat down in Sacramento.
The first thing I think about is Houdini.
And he pulled one out of his hat.
He really brings the game to another level.
And they came back and beat us.
Drop back about 40 yards, scramble around and then throw it and get away with it.
He's very intelligent, and he's a born leader, and You hate playing against them.
We have guys in this league like Gizmo Williams that can return punts better than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
You cannot give him a crack or else he will take it to the zone on you quickly.
Gave me one little move and boom, I went for it and he was gone.
Pinball. Somebody gave him the right name.
And you wonder how a guy so small can create so much excitement.
Pinball. When you play a pinball machine, you see the ball going all around. That's what it's just like.
That was a jet going down that sideline, wasn't it?
The level of talent in the CFL has probably been the best kept secret in North America for a long, long time.
It's a more wide open game, a little faster paced. There's more scoring in this league.
You go into the fourth quarter, you can be up 3 touchdowns and the game is not out of reach. I mean, you can have 10 minutes left in the game. The game is still not out of reach.
A fast-moving, exciting, entertaining style of a football game. I think the CFL has it all over any league.
Your 10 Baltimore area Pontiac dealers were proud to be the official vehicle of the 1994 Eastern Division CFL champions and share in all the excitement that led up to Baltimore's unbelievable first-year challenge for the prestigious Grey Cup. We were there to greet some of Baltimore's former stars, and as you'll see for 1995, Pontiac is fielding their own team of superstars, like the Red Hot Firebird, Sporty Grand Am, sleek Grand Prix, luxurious Bonneville, ultra-functional Transport, and the all-new 1995 Sunfire, arriving this spring at any of these fine Baltimore area Pontiac dealers. And we hope to see all of you at Memorial Stadium for every game this season as our professional football franchise once again challenges to bring the Grey Cup home to Baltimore.